Let's go. All right, everyone. We are live on a special Wednesday edition of Ringside Reporter, and we're going to talk about Garcia Spence, their press conference today. Beeb and I think, saw it two very different ways. I tell you, from the body language I saw and just the actual look, Garcia appeared to me to be nervous. I don't know how it looked to you, but I know to me, he didn't appear to be as confident as he was in those shows, those PBC shows they did, the fight camps and all that other stuff. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know if the event is getting to him. I don't know. He did not look that confident to me. When I looked at him and I looked in his eyes and everything, he didn't look, he looked nervous. And maybe the press conference got him nervous. Maybe being at Dallas Stadium got him nervous. Who knows? But I'll tell you what, when I looked at Spence and when he got up there and talked and everything like that, let me tell you what, man, I think Spence is dialed in, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Spence stop him. I really wouldn't. I was actually picking, I think Spence is going to win either way, but I thought that maybe it goes to a decision. I tell you what, man, Spence ain't playing with this kid. And Spence is, has told him, he said, he's going to punish him and this and that, and there was really no real response from Garcia. I think Garcia is a little shaken up by the whole experience. I got to be honest with you. Beeb, I don't know that you shared my same opinion, but what were your thoughts on the press conference? Before we go to the Beating the Odds of Beeb segment, what were your thoughts on the press conference itself?
I think he grasping at straws. Mikey Garcia looked like a glass of ice water. He was cool as a cucumber up there, man. I think both guys are very confident, and I think both guys just want to get it on at this point. They're getting probably tired of the press. They want to relax. They want to get prepared for the fight. They know the weigh-in's tomorrow, so they want to rest up. And they're just ready to get it on, baby. Mikey Garcia looked like cool in the gang up there, baby. I'm not worried 1 ounce.
Son. Come on, son. Did Errol Spence? What was your take on the body language of Errol Spence?
What are you talking about? Body language? Like this is a ballet or something, buddy? I mean, what is this? Psychology 101 here?
It tells a lot, son.
This is what you're trying to do. This is what you do now. You're grasping at straws right now because you're nervous because you picked the wrong guy. So now you're looking for every excuse you can to sway the pick in your favor, to boost up your confidence level in Errol Spence. That's what you're looking for right now, Daddy.
Absolutely. That you've had me figured out. You got me figured out.
That's what you're looking for right now.
All right. I'm going to kick it over here to Beeb. I thought the press I thought the press conference was kind of boring. What did you think of the press conference?
I mean, these guys, they're not really boisterous. They're not outspoken guys. So I didn't expect it to be like a Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder press conference would be. So I think given the personalities, this is what I've come to expect. And this is what I think people should come to have expected from these two guys when you put them in a room together. They're pretty low-key, respectful guys, and they're not trash talkers. They're really not trash talkers.
Yeah, I don't know. In the chat, this is just some news that just came in. I saw this over the thing. Kovalev and Yard is officially offered by the ordered by the WBO, and Tommy Boxeo has this in the chat. We can talk about that later, but my motto on organizations giving fight, mandating fights, usually doesn't matter. All right, Beeb, let me hit the music.
And now it's time for Beating the Odds with Beeb. Starring Britain's adopted son, Joe Habib.
All right, we're back. Beating the Odds with Beeb. We were digging in the crates. We dusted off the dust and all the cobwebs, and we're back. Finally. Let's get right into it. The old saying in boxing that a good big man always beats the good little man. Well, tell that to Sugar Ray Leonard. Tell that to Bernard Hopkins. Tell that to Floyd Mayweather. Tell that to Roy Jones. Tell that to Manny Pacquiao. Because all those guys were told that same thing. But guess what? They didn't listen. And on the night when they had to overcome their size disadvantage, skills paid the bills. So let's get right into this one now. Mikey Garcia versus IBF welterweight champion Errol Spence. Now, Errol Spence is a minus 390, while Mikey Garcia is a plus 320. So Mikey Garcia is about a 3.5 to 1 underdog here. But in my opinion, he is a very, very live underdog. This fight is power versus precision. Errol Spence is power. Mikey Garcia is precision. When I look at fighters, what I look for is a guy that is versatile, a guy that can do a lot of things, a guy that has many ways to win. Because what does that tell me? That gives me more ways to win when I bet. That increases my odds, in my opinion, and gives me more chances and gives me more confidence in that guy because, again, a lot more scenarios can play out in his favor, which can work in my favor, particularly my pockets. So let's break this down a little bit. Errol Spence, we know, he's a big, strong welterweight. He's got some power to him. He's got some speed. Southpaw, can box a little bit, but he's not a slick southpaw. He doesn't fight like the traditional southpaw that likes to work off the back foot, a guy that likes to suck his opponents into traps. He's not like a Pernell Whitaker. He's not like a Sergio Martinez type. He's not like a Corey Spinks type. He's not a slick southpaw. He's a seek and destroy type of guy. And as long as I've been watching him, that's who he's been, that's who he is, and he hasn't wavered from that type of particular style. He's a killer be killed type fighter, and so far he's been doing the killing, and no one's been able to kill him. So if you go back and you look at that Kell Brook fight, Kell Brook was boxing very, very well in that fight early on. A lot of people had him up. I had Errol Spence slightly up, but you could have had Brook up, could have had it even, whatever. But Spence was having problems with Brook, particularly with the jab and the straight right hand. So he's having problems from the outside with those long, straight punches. Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, B, Errol Spence is the taller guy in this fight. He has the greater reach. He has a 3-inch reach advantage in this fight. But let's look how Errol Spence fights. Does he really use his height and reach? No. Because as I said, he's a seek and destroy guy. He likes to fight on the inside, get up close, walk guys down, and impose his will on his opponents. So as I said, Kell Brook was doing well with the boxing early on. But as time wore on, Errol Spence was able to impose his will, get on the inside, and really stop breaking Brook down to the body, with short punches to the body, and kind of came right back upstairs with short hooks and looping right hands on the inside. So this is a guy that really hasn't used his height and reach in fights because he throws looping shots, doesn't really throw a ton of straight shots. He jabs, but very sparingly because the end game here is for him to get inside, so he's not going to set up long shots from the outside because he wants to get in your chest and he wants to fight you. Whereas Mikey Garcia is a guy that we've seen move forward and be successful. We've seen him fight off the back foot and be successful. We've seen him take it to guys. We've seen him suck guys into traps. We've seen Garcia use use some good subtle movement, and we've also seen him willing to engage and hit and walk guys down himself when the opportunity presents itself. So once again, we've seen Mikey Garcia fight in a lot of different ways. We've seen him box. We've seen him become aggressive. We've seen him counterpunch. And he's always really been precise and perfect with his shots. He's a guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes in there. So it's been said that he has to fight the perfect fight to win. Well, if anyone could fight the perfect fight, it's Mikey Garcia. He's a guy that never wavers from the game plan. He's a guy that can give you different looks in there. He's a guy that can switch it up when he has to. And when the opportunity presents itself, he usually capitalizes on it. So Errol Spence is the seek and destroy guy, and I don't think he's going to change for this fight. But here's another thing that you have to factor in. Errol Spence is being touted as the bigger guy, which he should be. He's being touted as the stronger guy, which possibly he should be. He's being touted as a guy that hits harder. But no one's saying that Errol Spence is the better boxer. No one's saying that Errol Spence has better skills than Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia has a lot more experience than Errol Spence, too. You know, he's been in there with a lot of different styles. He's been in there with big guys. He's been in there with guys who have tried to rough it up, but they weren't able to do it because Mikey Garcia gives them just enough space, constantly, pivots away, constantly makes a little sidestep here, a little sidestep there, and gets himself just enough out of danger, but not too far out where he's not there for the counters. He's not there to make you pay when you open up. So Errol Spence, because he's being touted as the bigger man, and everyone's expecting him to destroy Mikey Garcia, okay? Everyone's expecting him to walk Mikey Garcia down. Everyone's expecting once he hits Mikey Garcia with a good shot, Mikey Garcia is going to go. So I'm sure he's reading the press clippings. I'm sure he's listening to all this stuff. So a decision is unacceptable in this fight. He's going to go for the knockout. He's going to try and force the knockout. And what happens when you try and force the knockout? It doesn't always come. And also when you try and force the knockout, sometimes you're a little over anxious. Sometimes you're a little overzealous. Sometimes you make mistakes. And if you make the slightest mistake against Mikey Garcia, he's going to make you pay. And also, Errol Spence does not have that one-punch knockout power. He's the type of guy that likes to walk you down and wear you down with body shots. And he'll stop putting the combinations together once he feels that you're hurt. So he may land a good shot against Mikey. But will he land 2? Will he land 3? Will Mikey give him the body in this fight? Will he allow him to, close the distance? Will he allow him to turn this into a war? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. So I think Errol Spence is in his hometown. He's the guy that has a lot of pressure on him. And I know people are saying, well, Mikey's going to bring a lot of fans with him. But I'm still thinking that Spence will have a 60-40 advantage here in terms of, crowd here. So the way I see this fight playing out is I think Errol Spence is going to be a little too overly aggressive in this fight. I think he's going to open himself up. I think he's going to throw some wide shots in this fight because he's going to be trying to take Mikey Garcia's head off. And I think Mikey Garcia is going to thread the needle with the straight shots up the middle, sort of like what Kell Brook did in the first half of his fight with Errol Spence. But the one difference is Mikey Garcia is not going to get sucked in. He's not going to get too comfortable in there. He's not going to get too aggressive in there. He's going to take his time, whereas Kell Brook lulled himself into a false sense of security, saying to himself, well, I'm hitting this guy at will. Let me try and step up the gas a little bit. Mikey Garcia is going to fight this fight on an even keel. He's going to fight this fight measured. He's going to fight this fight disciplined, as he always has. And I'm saying that Mikey Garcia in this fight is going to win a unanimous decision. And the way I feel about this fight is sort of like how I felt about Oscar De La Hoya versus Manny Pacquiao. When the fight was first announced, I said to myself, you know what, Oscar De La Hoya is too big for Manny Pacquiao. He's going to destroy him. But as time wore on, I started looking at Oscar De La Hoya. And then I started seeing, he had the black eye and the 24/7. And then I started looking at Manny Pacquiao, and I started looking at the styles, and I started saying to myself, well, Oscar De La Hoya has had a hard time pulling the trigger in recent fights. He didn't look great against Stevie Forbes. He had 2 swollen eyes against Stevie Forbes, who was a smaller man. And Manny Pacquiao's the guy that brings that aggression and brings that volume. I'm sort of feeling like this with the Errol Spence fight and Mikey Garcia. Not because Mikey Garcia fights anything like Manny Pacquiao, not because Errol Spence fights anything like Oscar De La Hoya. And obviously you could say Oscar De La Hoya was on his way out. But still, when that fight was first announced, everyone said Oscar was going to kill him. And Oscar was a 3-1 favorite or a 3.5-1 favorite, just like Errol Spence is a 3.5-1 favorite. And as time wore on, the fight, the odds narrowed. Now, I'm not saying the odds are going to narrow here, but the more I think about things, when you in the beginning when a fight's first announced, you act off of impulse. But then as time goes on, you start really thinking about it. You look at the X factor. You look at the little idiosyncrasies of the matchup. You look at the little things. And then you start really analyzing what one guy can do and what the other guy can do. And if you're just relying on size and strength where the other guy has the better skill set, I've always subscribed to the theory that skills pays the bills. So the good big man does not always beat the good little man, as history has shown us. And I think that history will once again show us that skills will pay the bills this coming Saturday night. And I think Mikey Garcia will win a unanimous decision in this fight. So I'm going with Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is a huge live underdog here. And we're getting good odds, and we're going to take him. Beating the odds of Beeb, we'll be back in the win column Sunday morning or Saturday night, if you will.
Wow. Wow, son.
You want to change your pick now?
Yeah, maybe I'll change it to Spence by knockout.
Cut it out.
What have you been doing? Like watching like Hoosiers videos again, like reruns of the movie Hoosiers or whatever.
You know what I've been doing.
You've been reading David and Goliath's story again. Look,
I've been going into my DVR vault, and I've been falling asleep to Errol Spence fights and Mikey Garcia fights for the last 2 weeks. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing, and I've been waking up. I'm waking up, and I see Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia. When I go to bed, I see Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia on my television set.
Well,
so I've been doing my homework.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. What you need to do is go back and study those tapes again, because you're flat wrong. At no point will this fight even be close. I'm telling you, it's going to be a jump from the beginning of the fight to the end of the fight. 8-4 at the absolute closest. At the absolute closest. You're looking at a 9-3, 10-2 fight.
Somebody just asked me a question. Somebody just asked me a question. I hate to interrupt you. Beeb, can you give me 3 examples of a fighter moving up 2 divisions and beating a champion in his first fight in the division?
Yeah, Shane Mosley,
Sugar Ray Leonard, Roy Jones Jr.
What? Oh yeah, because he went up to heavyweight. What about
Bernard Hopkins? Bernard Hopkins. I gave you 4.
Who was the other one? It was not Willie Pep, but you know who I'm talking about? Henry Armstrong. I think, didn't Henry Armstrong do that too?
I can't remember if it was his first fight.
And Roberto Duran also. You mentioned him.
Roberto Duran did it too.
Yeah.
Gave you 5 right there. Beeb, Beeb is like an encyclopedia. Come on now.
He is. He's like a fountain of misinformation. Let me tell you what. Yeah. All right. Let's bet. What do you want to bet? What are we betting here? You betting pies? What are we doing?
Why am I going to bet? You already put the title up against Georgia. You ducked me for years.
I will leave Georgie. Let me tell you what. I will leave Georgie standing at the altar. If you want to put the title up, we'll put the title up.
You already signed the contract. You can't do that.
Look at him. Wow. Even you don't even have confidence in your pick. Everybody, a lot of people, let me tell you this. A lot of people are taking Mikey Garcia. But not a lot of people are betting on Mikey Garcia. That's what I can tell you.
Well, you know what?
And that's the truth.
I'll do a fucking pie bet with you. Let's fucking go. Sorry, YouTube. I'm unleashing the full skill set here. I'm fucking going for that. I'm going for it. Mikey Garcia, unanimous decision.
Reeling him in, son. Just reeled him in.
at the size of the pythons Mikey has. Look at the nutrition plan he's been on.
Yeah,
look at the snacks. Look at the snack supplements he's been on. This guy's ripped. He's jacked. He's jacked.
They can give him all kinds of steroids or whatever they want at Conte's place.
Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy.
He could skip VADA testing or whatever. Listen, it's done. There's no way he's beating Spence. If I was thinking about it today, man, if Mikey was smart, Mikey should have taken Porter, or he should have taken Thurman to get that belt, because he's not going to take it from Spence. And let me remind you guys of something, in case everybody's forgot. At least in case everybody's forgot, Robert Garcia and Mikey's dad, they didn't want this fight. They didn't want it. They did not want the fight. He was on record saying that, I don't like that fight for him, but if he wants it, then we'll go with it. We'll figure out a game plan and everything like that. They don't want the fight. They never wanted it. Mikey's the one that wanted it, and that's great. And that says a lot about Mikey and his character and everything. Great. But that being said, listen, when your trainers don't want you to take the fight, you probably shouldn't take the fight. That's a big one. That's a big one to me.
These are all
your guys.
These are straw man arguments right here.
Your guys.
You're going to be taking 2 pies come Sunday. 2 pies in your face.
I'll take 4 pies if he loses, son. It ain't happening. Ain't happening. There's absolutely... I don't even see a scenario where he beats him. Is Mikey going to win a couple of rounds? Maybe.
I got to ask you a question real quick. Hold on for 1 second. I got to show you something.
Yeah. What the world are you doing? Getting up, leaving a live show. We're on a live show. What world do you got?
Does this apple pie count as a pie?
Let me see it. Let me zoom in here. No, it doesn't. No. Get out of here. No, it doesn't count as a pie. What kind of nonsense is that?
I wanted to bust your balls.
Does this count as a pie? No, it doesn't count as a pie. You was hoping I'd say yeah.
This is a good glycogen replenishment for the Beeb after a nice workout. Grab like 2 of these.
The Entenmann's cake.
No, it's an apple pie. It's a little apple pie, baby.
Is that an Entenmann's apple pie?
Yeah, it's a little Entenmann's. It's a mini.
It's a mini.
It's a mini. Yeah.
Emmanuel, Beeb is way too confident. He must know something. Trust me, he knows nothing.
I know a lot, baby. Beeb is the encyclopedia.
Mikey seemed real confident until today too. So, yeah, come fight night. This thing's over, man. I'm telling you. Like I said, man, I don't see a way. I really don't see a way that Mikey beats him. I really don't. Errol Spence is too big. He's too strong. And everybody says, well, hey, Mikey's the better boxer. Says who?
This guy says Shane did not move up from lightweight to welterweight. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he fought once. I believe he fought once at 140, but so did Mikey. Mikey fought at 142.
Oh, he never fought at 140. He went right from 135 to 147.
Yeah, maybe he did.
He did.
I don't remember.
Listen,
either way, it's still a big accomplishment.
He never fought it.
It's still a big accomplishment.
He never fought at 140.
Yeah,
I still named 5. You asked me to name 3.
Yeah. Henry Armstrong, I believe, was the other one.
He fought at 135 before he moved up to 147. He was never a 140-pound champion.
No, he was never a 140-pound champion, but he may have fought at 140. Let me double check here.
Let's double check. And if I'm wrong, I'll make a mistake. But I don't believe he did. I remember they said he skipped 2 weight classes. Let's see. Let's open up his box, right?
And that's the other thing. I mean, you're talking about the different styles Mikey's seen in the pros. Errol Spence saw the exact same styles. He traveled the world in the Olympics.
So what?
So what?
Okay, here it is right now. Look, I'm looking at the box right here. John Brown was his last fight at 135, right? And then he shot right up to 146. Then he shot right up to 146. So I don't know what you're talking about. All right. So,
All right.
So he went from 135 to 147. He skipped 140. He jumped 2 weight classes. So it is what it is.
Did Mosley use PEDs? I mean, he was involved in the whole Balco thing. Yeah.
What did Bernard Hopkins do? He went right from 160 and he fought Antonio Tarver at 175.
175, yeah.
Right? What did Roy Jones do? Went right from light heavyweight, fought Johnny Ruiz.
Yeah, the heavyweight. That's a big one. That was a huge jump.
What did Sugar Ray Leonard do? Went right from 147 to 160 in a title shot. That's 2 weight classes. It's been done before. Beeb's done it before, man.
Beeb's done that before.
The schoolyard. I jumped up 2 weight classes before in the schoolyard.
Yeah, but you got beat.
I was the champion of Revere.
You were the champion of Revere.
I was the Webster School cruiserweight champion.
Given quality for life, Eric, what are you spewing today? Spewing facts, my man. I'm spewing facts. That's what I'm doing today.
I was a 200-pounder in middle school, baby. Can't mess with the Beeb.
So, what about Chris Arreola? Did you see Chris Arreola at the presser today? They did a quick interview with him.
I didn't see him.
He looks good. He looks good. He doesn't look...
he looks the best.
He looks good.
He must have... He must have really trained hard, man, because he looks in great shape, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. He really does. You could see it like in his face and stuff like that. I mean, he looks good.
Emmanuel Moreno says he looks old. Well, he's close to 40 now.
Yeah.
Close to 40. Look at Given Quality said it must have been all calves. Zoom in on these pythons right here, man. This is a 50-year-old man, still has these pythons. Zoom in on this. Zoom in on this, cameraman.
Look at the Beeb.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at that, man. Look at that. Big 17-inch pythons here. You can't mess with this.
I guess the camera does add 10 pounds.
Look at that. Don't mess. All calves. Come on now. 50 years old, baby. Can still do 3 rounds and get carried out. And still get carried out in the stretcher, but still, I can do the 3 rounds.
That's right. That's right. That's what counts. That's what counts. All right, so let's talk about this. Is pretty interesting here, man. So Deontay Wilder had a meeting with DAZN yesterday, and I guess there was a tweet that came out. There wasn't a whole lot that came out of it other than he met with him and that it was there should be a decision coming very soon. And let me see if I can find this tweet by Chris Mannix. Chris Mannix had a really good tweet about it. And I don't know, again, like as far as like what the terms were and everything like, and I don't think anybody really knows. But Beeb said he heard it was for a 2-fight thing. Here, let me see.
I heard 2 things. I heard one from one article and one from another. I heard one article said, I think it was badlefthook.com said that it was 2 fights, 25 apiece. Then I heard it was 2 fights. First fight, $20 million. Second fight, double that if it's Joshua. So $20 million for fighting someone, regular fighter or whatever, and $40 million for Joshua. That's what I heard. Right. So it's got to be somewhere in the middle. But let's just say this: it's probably 2 fights are probably more than 12 and a half he's getting for his next fight against Brazil, which is still great.
Chris Mannix tweeted out, Deontay Wilder's decision on the DAZN offer, which could come before the end of the week, will be interesting. He wanted, quote, generational wealth. He's being offered it. Guaranteed. He wants career-defining fights against Anthony Joshua. He can get them there. There is little downside. He's right.
Who said that, Eddie Hearn?
No, Chris Mannix.
Oh, Chris Mannix?
Yeah. Chris Mannix said that. And like... somebody in the chat just said, yeah, Given Quality said that if, he said no Joshua fight included, I don't see Wilder taking the deal. Why not? I think
$25
million a fight. Come on, man.
I think a Joshua I think a Joshua fight is definitely guaranteed.
How do you know? How do you know that no AJ was guaranteed? Nobody knows the terms of this. How do you know this?
I find it hard to believe that it wouldn't include an AJ fight. Again, I don't know. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but from my understanding, maybe they want the Brazil fight to be on the zone, and maybe the second fight will be the Joshua fight. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, who knows? You know, that's the other thing. I mean, like he says, well, Chris Mannix is lying. Well, first of all, Chris Mannix didn't say anything that AJ was guaranteed. But the other thing is, how do you know AJ's not guaranteed? You have no idea. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Nobody knows really. I think the zone wants big fights. I got in this discussion, and this guy was saying to me, "Oh, all they want is Wilder's belt. They want Joshua to be a unified champion, so they can market him worldwide as a unified champion." Blah 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 blah. And again, Joshua does bring a lot to the zone. Don't get me wrong, but going by what the zone's actions, the only two fighters that have guaranteed contracts are Canelo and Golovkin, and we know Canelo's got $365 million, right? We know he's getting that over the course of 11 fights. So Joshua's like basically, obviously, fights on the zone. Canelo, I'm sorry. Yeah. What did I say? Joshua? I apologize. I meant Canelo.
Yeah.
What did I say? Joshua? I thought
you said Golovkin, but
okay. I'm sorry. I meant to say Canelo. So Canelo's getting $365 for 11 fights. Joshua's obviously getting paid well, but he's only basically on a fight to fight. He had, they don't have him locked in. So obviously Canelo is the face of the app, in my opinion, because they invested the most amount of money in him. Now Eddie Hearn definitely has the best deal and the biggest deal, and he has a big influence over there because, again, $1 billion spread over how many years is that $1 billion supposed to be spread over? Eight years, right? They said
something like that, yeah.
So it's like 250 million or something a year or something like that. What's eight divided by what's a billion divided by 8? That's like
money.
It's a lot of money. I'm not even gonna. I don't have the calculator with me, but $1 billion spread out over 8 years. It's a lot of money. So they made a huge investment in Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn made a huge investment in them. But the only two fighters they locked in, so when you lock a fighter in, that means that you're looking to build, they're the foundation. So I'm not saying Joshua is not a big part of this app, but I don't think he's the face of the app. I think right now Canelo is.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Joshua, I don't know that he is tied to DAZN in any way. I mean, from what everybody says, it's like a, like he's a deal from like a fight to fight kind of thing. But, Canelo right now, I mean, when you think of DAZN, you think of Canelo because he's the big face on there. He's the one getting paid all the money. Obviously they're going to promote Triple G now and everything like that. Deontay Wilder, I mean, he would be foolish, from just a business standpoint, he would be foolish if they offered him that much money. If they offered him a lot of money. I mean, you'd be silly not to, because there's no reason they can't make that AJ fight then. There's none. I mean, none.
No.
But do you think, when they do, because there's no pay-per-view to deal with. Because I think that's the big thing, is like they get their flat fees when they talk about pay-per-view, and then they got to get a 50-40 split or something like that, or a 55-45 split, or a 60-40, or whatever it is. And that's where the talks go south, because, he doesn't deserve more. I deserve more. I deserve more of a cut of it, and this and that. That's kind of the cool thing about DAZN. They give you that fee. This is your contract. You guys are going to fight.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's none of that middleman to deal with there as far as the pay-per-view goes. If Wilder does stay with Fox, I mean, he really is kind of limited, I would think. But I don't know, man. I mean, Josh was at DAZN. I would think he'd stay at DAZN. Somebody said, I think I read one of the tweets. It was like, well, if Wilder goes to DAZN, don't be surprised to see Joshua go to ESPN. Like, cut it out. Come on.
So if that $1 billion, if that $1 billion is spread out into 8 years, then that's $150 that's $125 million a year. That's what that is.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out if they have $125 million a year to spend on fights. How are they putting together these deals?
I don't know. Drug money. Who cares? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's just it's curious.
Right.
No, you did say that. I told you were right, given quality. I said you were right. I put it in the chat. You were right, given quality. Go back and look at it. Yeah, I told you were right. Yeah, so $125 million. But see, the big difference is when Al Heyman got that money from Waddell and Reed,
right?
They gave him $500 million up front. You know what I mean? So that was crazy. Like $500 million right out the gate. It wasn't divided up into years or anything.
Right, but like the Canelo fights, I mean, you figure it. You know, they're getting X amount of dollars. Canelo's going to fight twice a year, so maybe he takes 60 of it. You know what I mean? Then Golovkin's going to fight. Who knows how much he gets? And then you got all the rest. I mean, they're not. It's not like they're paying a bunch of superstars over there.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I mean, so there's definitely enough to pay. I mean,
and then if they spend like over 125 one year, maybe they could, you know, they could play around in it. You know, play around with it, I guess.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that that's the thing, is that. I think that with him going to DAZN, it makes the fight, number one, it makes the fight easier to happen because you got a platform. It's just all around easier to make that fight if that's the fight he wants. And he turned down, what was it, $12.5 million? The figure I saw was $12.5 million to go to ESPN, and that was for one fight. I mean, there was multiple fights on the table. I think there was 2 fights on the table, but the first fight would have been 12.5, and that would have been for an interim fight before he fought Tyson Fury. So whatever the Tyson Fury fight was, was going to pay-per-view, and was, I mean, that would have been a big deal. So yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, so if my guess is if they were offering him $12.5 million to fight a guy, a tune-up fight, what do you think DAZN's offering him? You know what I mean? They got to be offering him some major cash.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it only makes sense.
No, I agree. Yeah. I think that we'll find out soon enough.
I think that he's going to take this, and I think he's going to take it in pretty short order. I wouldn't be surprised to see, but now This is different too. Now, a press release just came out today. On Tuesday, he's going to announce his next title defense, and Dominic Breazeale was mentioned in the presser, so that's going to be his next fight. So, I wonder if a deal's already been signed, and these will be not this coming fight, but the next 2 fights. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much we don't know. Everything sure. At this point. But one thing we do know is he's being talked to, and it looks like it's going to be for, the offerings are going to be for a substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, he's the heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, Joshua fights on DAZN, and he hasn't really moved from DAZN, so which tells you they got to be paying him quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, so. They got to be paying him quite a bit of money, so the good odds are that Wilder's going to get quite a chunk of money. Now, will it be as much as Joshua? Probably not. But but that sets up that fight, and that's what he wants. He wants a big fight. He wants Joshua, or he wants Tyson Fury. So,
well, what I heard was they were offering him a 2-fight deal for $50 million. So I don't know what the $15 million for the Brazil or the 40-60 split for the AJ fight. I don't know that at all. From what I've read, it's a $50 million 2-fight deal. And then I also read in another article that it was $20 million for the first fight and $40 million for the second fight. So
yeah. Sean Newton Boxing in the chat just says AJ's getting $32 million from Miller. So,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. We don't really know. We don't really know.
I mean, those are on par with the numbers that we've heard.
Yeah.
As far as like what he's been getting for fights. You know what I mean? And shout out to Sean Newton Boxing. He said I was a likable guy. Unlike my co-host Joe Habib, who's not a likable guy.
He hates me, man.
Well, that's because I'm the likable one. Very likable.
All right.
Guy.
You don't have the 20-inch, the 17-inch pythons, though. No comeback for that one, huh, Daddy? Speechless.
I tell you what else I won't have. It's a pie on my face on Sunday.
You won't have a pie. You won't have a pie in your face. You'll have 2 pies in your face.
I'm not going to have that either. You know what I'm going to have? My belt wrapped around my broad shoulders, son. That's where it's going to go. That's right.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think you're just going with the flow.
What?
I think you're just going with the flow. You're just jumping on the Spence bandwagon.
I'm just jumping on the... Son, I've said Spence is the next coming since he came out of the Olympics.
Smash that.
Telling you guys and telling
Smash
you guys.
that like button. Smash that
guys.
like button. Smash that like button.
Sean Newton, salute. Giving quality, salute. Rob Lee, salute. Matthew Thompson, salute.
Blue Blood Sports, salute.
He's not in the chat.
But we got to give him props because we're stealing his line.
So?
Emmanuel Moreno, salute.
Was this smash the like button from 78? Or was it? Is it 76 Sports or 78 Sports?
78 Sports.
78 Sports. Yes.
Everyone says
that. Come on, you guys. Come on, give us a thumbs
thumbs
up.
down.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down, please.
They gave it to you. You know why they gave you a thumbs down, Beeb? Because you're unlikable. You're not very likable.
B, before Shane fought Oscar, he fought at 154 versus Willis. Before Ray Leonard fought Hagler. Yeah, but after Ray Leonard fought at 154, he went right back down to 147. That was his next fight. He vacated the 154-pound title. He fought Kevin Howard at 147. And then after fighting at 147, he went right up to 160 to fight for a middleweight title. I don't know why he's just... I don't understand. He's just really on this.
Just stay on it, don't they?
Yeah, they don't want... People don't want to be wrong. Like, I've been wrong several times. And how many times did I come out and say I was wrong on this show?
Oh, tons.
Probably like once every 7 years, but I still do it.
I think it's probably like maybe once an hour on the show. I mean, you're going to be saying you're wrong a lot on Sunday. Shout out to Champ Life Boxing in the chat, man. Hey, keep those videos going, man. They're pretty good. I like them. Man. Keep it going. Good stuff. Good stuff from Champ.
Good stuff, babe. Good stuff.
Yeah, we know Wilder's mandated to fight Brazil next, so it's no mystery. You're right. I mean, and Brazil's name is on the press release, so you know that's what he's going to announce. My guess, it would have to be after this fight. If he takes a DAZN deal, no, it would have to be after this fight.
Yeah.
I would think so. I mean, that makes the most sense to me.
Okay. Again, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna grasp at straws. Technically, Ray Leonard weighed 149 pounds for Kevin Howard. Okay, so he was 2 pounds over the welterweight limit. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll give you that. You are right. You're grasping at straws, though. 2 pounds. But it is what it is. Charlo signs at DAZN next week. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I would be interested. Hey, Champ Life, if you're out there, give us a call. Give us a call in. Because I would be real curious to see. I would be real curious to see where he stands on this too. Should Wilder take that DAZN deal or what? Because I know, like, he's real, like, he's very pro PBC and pro, that kind of thing. So yeah, Champ Life, call in if you can. Well, that's what I said. Rafael Dawkins says Brazil's the next fight, but where does that take place? That's really my question. I mean, that's what I've been saying is that, like, I don't know. Again, if he signs with DAZN, does that include his next fight? That I couldn't tell you. I know Showtime was talking. I mean, I know there's been talk about putting this fight on pay-per-view. which I thought was an absolute joke. I'm talking about Brazil and Wilder, which I thought was an absolute joke at first, and it turns out they weren't joking. So, yeah, they were talking about putting this fight on pay-per-view. Given Quality says it's going to be on pay-per-view, but, again, he has no facts. But aside from all that, man, Beeb, what do you think about this fight on pay-per-view? Dude, that's awful, no?
I have a feeling that it'll probably end up being on Fox, regular Fox.
It has to be, right? Come on, say it ain't so. That's terrible. I mean, that seriously is terrible.
I don't know, man. This guy is still on this.
What?
I can't believe it. Roy Jones went up 2 classes.
Dude, nobody
cares. Bernard Hopkins went up 2 classes. Okay? Shane Mosley went up 2 classes. He never fought at 140. Never. He went from 135 right to 147. I mean, it's just
only
a fact.
Hopkins and Jones moved up 2 weight classes? You're just wrong.
It's just wrong. I mean, it's been done before. It's been done before. So it is what it is.
Yeah, like it or not.
You know, and you know who else? You know who else did it?
Who?
Did Manny Pacquiao knock out Ricky Hatton before he knocked out Oscar De La Hoya?
No.
He fought. So Manny Pacquiao went from 135 to 147 against Oscar De La Hoya. There's another one.
Did he?
Yeah. There's another one.
I don't know. There's been some. But I think the one that I was looking at when we talked about Duran, we talked about Henry Armstrong, and there was somebody else who jumped up 2 weight classes they went from lightweight to 147.
Manny Pacquiao did it.
Yeah, what about Bronner? Bronner skipped 140. How about that? He just went up there. Hey, Ohio.
Bronner did it. Bronner did it too, and then he went back, and then he went back down. Like then he went to 140 after. He was like 130, 130. He was 130, 135. Then he was 147. So Bronner did it too.
Yeah, did I say Henry Armstrong? I thought I said Henry Armstrong. Isn't that what I said?
Oscar wasn't champion. Okay, but was he not like the man in boxing at that time? Come on. Juan Manuel Marquez, he was another guy. He skipped 140 to fight Floyd. Yep, it's another one. Yep. Well, I don't think Wilder Brazil is a pay-per-view fight. So
Wilder Brazil, it's a horrible fight. Number one, it's not even that great of a fight. Okay, it's not even. And I mean, the AJ Miller fight is so much better than that fight. The Wilder Brazil is not a good fight. The only thing they can play in, the only thing they can really play in, is the hotel incident, and they're not going to do that to get these guys like keyed up for it.
Oh, Rigondeaux's another one. That's another one. Rigo went right to Loma. Yep. I think Loma did it too. Didn't Loma do it?
Yeah, but Rigo lost though.
Yeah, that's right. Can't use that example. He lost. Can't use that example.
Final prediction, guys. What happens in this fight? I'm assuming you're talking about Spence Garcia. I think Errol Spence walks right over him. He's going to win 9-3, 8-4 type of fight if he doesn't stop him. I think that Mikey's trainers did not want this fight to happen. I believe that what you could see happen is if he starts to take too many shots, that corner is going to step in. That's what I think. I think Spence is going to be too big, too strong. He does everything that Mikey does, Spence does the same. Equal, if not better. And that's the fight.
Yeah, that's true.
Beeb, of course, is taking Mikey Garcia and is going to add to his losing streak.
I think White should fight. I would love to see White fight Ortiz next. Luis Ortiz. That would be a great move for White because I used to think Ortiz would beat White, But I don't think so now. I think Ortiz has really, really slowed down a bit. But he's still good enough that if you beat him, it's a name on your record. Because no one else, besides Wilder, who else wanted to fight Luis Ortiz? Nobody, right?
No, nobody wants to fight Luis Ortiz because he's dangerous. But I think that's a dangerous fight for White, man.
Champ Life got Mikey too, baby. See, Champ Life is a G, just like me.
Call in, son.
He's a G. He knows what's up.
Call in. Let's talk about it.
You can't fuck with guys like me and Champ Life. You can't.
Oh, good Lord.
When me and Champ Life, we're like the Wonder Twins, baby. Wonder Twin powers activate. When we both pick a fighter, it's a lock. It's a lock.
Unlikable. You're so unlikable. I'm just saying.
We haven't checked my DMs, baby. I get fan mail every day on the hour. Yeah,
but it's all from Robert. You know, I mean, what are you going to do?
I agree, Sean Newton. I've been saying that White deserved the title shot before Miller did, but I still don't.
If I were White, I wouldn't fight Ortiz. I would fight a soft touch or whatever, but I wouldn't fight Ortiz. There's no reason to. No reason to risk all that.
We got to get this Skype going. So some of these UK people want they want to call in.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for the cable, man.
This Skype is right around the corner. It's right around. We're waiting for that cable to come in.
Yeah, we have. There's a cable that makes it because Skype is mono. This cable apparently makes it stereo. So that's kind of what we're waiting on.
Someone said you're not white, Eric. Beeb is white. Well,
okay.
Some people. I told people I was white. I told someone I was white before. You know what they told me? You're not white. You're Middle Eastern. You're some guy called me an Arab because I'm Lebanese. So, but I do identify as white though because I'm half Italian, half Lebanese.
There you go.
I do identify as white.
I agree with Exisco. I am not white. I agree with you. There you go.
Eric is better looking than B.
Yeah, holla. Boom.
Cut it out.
Come on, son.
Come
Look
on.
at that.
My phone's blowing up as we speak right now with text messages from my honey
collectors.
From my honey.
Owe everybody money after this fight, son. That's what's going to happen. You're going to owe everybody money after this fight.
From my honey dips.
Honey dips? What are you talking about?
Beeb's got the honey dips on speed dial.
Oh,
cut it out.
Lord.
Cut it out.
Good Lord. Honey dips.
I don't know.
Beeb is related to Montero. Oh, because he's Italian. Because he's Italian too.
Another good-looking guy, Montero. Another good-looking guy.
Yeah, so Montero. Me and Montero.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, let's.
If there's a possibility for White to also fight in the zone, and apparently after Brazil fight, Wilder will have to unify or fight White as the next man, and Wilder will sign. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything. Yeah. I read two stories today. One said 50 million for 2 fights. Another one said 20 for the first and 40 if it's an AJ fight. So I don't know.
Yeah, Champ Life Boxing just said Team Mikey, but I'm not betting. Chill, Spence is too big. Boom. I told you. That's the story here. Everybody,
well, I bet.
A lot of people taking Mikey.
Well, I bet.
Yeah, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. How about that?
I let my nuts hang.
Son.
I let my nuts hang here. I let my nuts hang. I bet.
They're just gonna hang then because you're gonna lose and you're gonna be twisting in the wind, son.
I bet. I let my nuts hang here.
It's all over, son. Area code 412, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh in the house, baby. Pulse battle for it, Daddy.
What's up? What's up, Beeb?
What's going on?
What's going on, guys?
What's happening, man?
I always listen to the show. I was just checking you out, and this is Plaster God. You know what? I'm always on the chat, but when I type in, my shit disappears right away. I don't know why.
Huh. Well,
yeah, it pops up, and then it just disappears.
Well, we took the wrench away from Jason, so we can't blame Jason for that.
That's right.
He was one of our moderators.
I never troll you guys.
No.
No.
What's your name? What's your name in the chat?
Plaster God 412 Goat.
Oh, okay. I'll keep an eye out for it. Then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, because you shouldn't be blocked or anything like that. I mean,
So how many rounds do you think? How many rounds do you think Mikey Garcia is going to win by? Like 8-4, 9-3?
You know what? I think Spence is going to stop him like in probably the 7th or 8th round. I'd say 8th round. Spence is going to stop Garcia. But if it goes the distance, all bets are off because them judges are crooked as fuck. So,
but see, that's my thing. I don't like betting on a fight when everyone says that the power guy's just gonna knock him out. Like when it's
no. It has nothing to do with power. Look at Pacquiao and De La Hoya. Like we said, I don't believe in that De La Hoya was washed up shit because he was only like 32 years old. I mean, God, Floyd was 40 and still at the highest level. So that 32 years old shit, I don't buy into that.
Yeah.
He was the bigger guy. He had more power. It's just, like your buddy Conor McGregor says, timing beats speed and accuracy beats power. So it's one of the things. But I think Spence has the talent to do it also. He's not just a puncher like, say, Deontay Wilder. He just doesn't go in there and try to knock you out. Spence breaks you down like the old Floyd, like Floyd used to do. Like when he was Pretty Boy, he would break people down and then stop them later. Just that's like Spence is like the 130-pound Floyd when he was knocking people up, but Spence came into it at 147. He's going to eventually probably go 154 to 160. Where he's like but with more power. And Mikey Garcia is a very solid opponent, and it might be a wild card. So if it goes to the judges, you never know. It could be a draw at the end of the night. It could end up a draw, and they're both still undefeated.
I tell you what, anytime it goes to the judges, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, you could see a draw, couldn't you?
Personally,
it's not impossible.
But personally, it's possible. I tell you what, it is definitely possible. I mean,
it's not impossible.
Who the fuck's seen a draw with Wilder and Fury?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
And look at all the Jack fights that end in draws. It's crazy.
That's right. That's right. That's a good point.
The freaking draws are crazy sometimes. Who sees them coming? Canelo and Triple G first fight. Just the draws sometimes is like, oh my god.
When I went to the cards,
I gotta ask everybody a question here. I gotta ask everybody a question here. If this fight does go the distance and Spence wins a decision, is that a knock on him? Is that a letdown if he doesn't knock out Mikey Garcia?
See, some people say, oh, he got exposed by a talented, by a fighter that moves around and is a good boxer. People are going to say that, but the people that know boxing knows that Mikey Garcia is he might be an A- fighter. He's a B+ A- fighter. He's a solid fighter. So he doesn't have Pacquiao power, but I mean he has that talent. Young Pacquiao, where he was knocking people. Just Mike Garcia's got that talent. He doesn't have that pressure that Pacquiao had, but I'm talking about just skill, not the same style, just the skill people have. He has a skill. Now, if I had Garcia versus Crawford, like that's the crazy part, because I think Spence beats Crawford. But I think if Crawford fought Garcia, I think Crawford would take him out. That's just the thing. But Spence is my favorite fighter. I'm a Spence nut rider. You know, I think he's the greatest thing since, you know, whatever.
He's a very exciting fighter.
I think Spence could take out Canelo. I think Spence could take out Canelo. Put it that way.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
Yeah, that says a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Canelo's got experience. I think Spence could take Canelo out. And I'm not just saying it because he's I really think that. I like just looking at it and watching the fights. But Canelo he's so much smarter than people give him credit for, too. I mean, he's, you know, I mean, I criticize him, too, you know, back when the Triple G fight wasn't happening. But, you know, it didn't happen twice, you know. Shit. But, hey, remember you were saying something about Mikey Garcia? He fought Adrian Broner for that 140-pound title. And he won that. That's his 5th world title. You guys saying about a title, 140? He won the WBC.
Oh, that's right. That's right. No, he also won a 140-pound title against Lipinets. So that question that was asked, he's not moving up 2 weight classes. He's really moving up 1.
Yeah, he fought at 140. He beat Adrian Broner, and he got that WBC title.
Yeah. So that question that question that was asked was a bad question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, he's never won the official belt, but he's won the interim 140 belts.
No, but the Lipinets belt was for a legitimate 140-pound title. It was an IBF title.
Was it?
Yeah, the Sergey Lipin. No, it was IBF. They don't have a super. They just have a regular world title. The IBF doesn't have.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm thinking it was the Burgundy.
Yeah. No,
WBO. Okay, yeah, because WBO they got the super and it's like what's his name? The one guy that Mike Garcia I think should have fought. The other, what's his name? Lomachenko. He's got the super WBO and the regular. Yeah. That would have been a hell of a fight, huh? Wouldn't that have been a hell of a fight?
Yeah, I like that fight.
Yeah, that would have been a great fight, but I just think they'd only give it to Bob. That's all. I don't think Mikey Garcia wants to give it to Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bad experience he had.
Bad blood
but,
there.
I had something else, but now I should write this shit down. But I think that was it. Was the WBC thing. I think Garcia's going to stop. I think Spence is going to stop Mikey Garcia. You know what? I've really been liking Spence talking a lot more trash. Not trash, but more aggressive talk towards other fighters. I'm liking that. Because, man, half the time I wish I could talk for I wish I could talk for those guys. You know what it's like when you're sitting there like, I have to call them out, But he's starting to I think get a little more. No, you don't need to get disrespectful, but you gotta put yourself in the conversation sometimes.
Speaking very confident. He's speaking very confidently.
Yeah, and so I think he's, the only thing I heard about Spence that kind of bothered me, and this is the only thing I heard he drinks a lot. Okay, and that's the only thing I've ever heard about Spence that I didn't like, because I think he could go so far. And I think alcohol did play a part in some of De La Hoya's performances, and I think he could have been greater than he was, but I just hope that Spence, with the success, doesn't get sucked into that. I think Floyd did a good job in not, I think he did fight a lot of the people, a lot of people give him trash for Margarito. I think he was actually going to fight Margarito. I think when Shane Mosley knocked him out, I think whoever won that fight was getting him next. But, Mosley was on the juice and he knocked him out, which Margarito deserved it for all the bullshit he did with refs. So I don't know.
Good deal.
It's a crazy game, isn't it?
It is. It really is. Well, you're on record, man. You got Spence by knockout. There you go.
I got Spence by, they're going to stop it. They're going to stop the fight. I think his corner is going to throw in the towel, or he's going to get hit with and I know he's got a solid body, but he might get hit to the body and not get back up, like a kidney shot, like De La Hoya got by Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah, that liver.
I think his brother's going to throw the towel in. Because if his brother throws the towel in, it looks like he didn't stop. It looks like his corner gave up. So that's the way they'll save face if he starts getting his ass beat. The corner will say, no, stop it. And they'll say he was willing to die in the ring, and they'll put on, they'll have that argument. So
that's always
daring
the
to be
face
great
move.
and corner stop it.
That's it.
Yep.
All right, my man, we're going to get running. Thank you so much for the call, man. We appreciate it. A good, let's see here in the chat. What did they say? Something about the best punch. What do you think the best punches will be? Most effective punch will be for both fighters. For Mikey, I think it's going to be the jab, and for Spence, it's going to be the hooks to the body. That's going to be it.
Right hook to the body.
Right or left hook to the body. Spence is gonna body hunt him. I really believe that.
Okay. I'm going to say right hook for Spence, straight right for Mikey.
Yeah. And I think both guys are going to get hit. I think that, it'll be interesting to see. You know what I found interesting when they did the show, when they did the Fight Camp show, is those guys, I think it was Robert Garcia who said that he thought that Mikey was going to be stronger. He thought that Mikey was going to be stronger, if not as strong, if not stronger than Spence. And I was just like, there ain't no way. I just don't see that happening. I don't see that as a scenario. I don't see. I see that as unrealistic, and I hope they've got I hope that was just bravado or something like that. How do you think Mikey fights this guy? I mean, as far as do you think he tries to use his jab to get in? Because again, man, I mean, Spence is going to be able to back him up and be on top of him all night.
I think Mikey
put the pressure on him.
I think Mikey sidesteps him and turns him a lot in this fight. Spence comes straight in. Mikey can turn guys. He can sidestep guys. He can step around guys.
Do you think he tries to fight it like Meldrick Taylor fought Chavez, or like Pernell Whitaker fought Chavez, and just fight in circles?
Mikey Garcia is going to fight like Bernard. This is going to, you know what this fight's going to be like? Bernard Hopkins versus Tito Trinidad.
Okay,
that's what this fight's going to be like. Not as wide as that fight, but it's going to be like that fight.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. Brandon White just said it in the chat. He says, I highly doubt Mikey could even defeat Brook. I don't know. I know that was a tough fight. I don't know who I would pick in that fight.
Well,
prior to the Spence fight.
That version of Brook, I think, was very vulnerable to a lot of people. With all due respect, I think that version of Brook was vulnerable.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Brook hasn't looked the same since.
Well, he hasn't looked the same since the Golovkin fight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Does Mikey beat Peterson? Yeah, I think so. I picked Mikey over Peterson.
I think he beats. I tell you what, and that's my biggest problem with this is that they weren't able to sell him on a Keith Thurman or a Sean Porter, and not that those two really want to fight anybody but themselves. But they really weren't able to sell him on those two fights, and those were the fights. I think those are winnable fights for Mikey. I think that he would have definitely. I think he beats either one of those guys. So let's talk about after Saturday, win or lose. If Mikey wins, does he stay at welterweight? I guess it depends on how he feels and everything like that. But if Mikey loses, which is the most expected scenario, let's say, do you think that he goes back down in weight?
Yeah, I think he goes back. I think he goes down to 140.
And do you think that he fights somewhere or no?
I don't know. I think he should.
Yeah, Matthew Thompson just says if Mikey wins, it's a super fight versus Pacquiao. Pacquiao's going to be front row there, and I think the Pacquiao-Spence fight is going to be more what they're going to be playing toward. I think that's more why Pacquiao's there. It's a horrible fight for Pacquiao too, just as like it is for Mikey. Let me ask you this though, Beeb. If Spence wins the fight,
yep.
Mikey was coming up in weight. Is he going to get the same criticism as Terrence Crawford got for fighting on quote-unquote smaller guys?
Well, the thing is a lot of people, as time has gone on, have started to give Mikey a shot in this fight. So, no one really thought that Gamboa was going to beat Crawford. No one picked him. But this, if you notice, a lot of people now are picking Mikey. There's a lot of late money on Mikey right now. So it's kind of a double standard. I see your point, and I agree with it. Mm-hmm. Because I think Crawford fought smaller guys, but the guys that he fought were still very, very talented. Like Gamboa was a very talented fighter at the time Mikey fought.
Rigo, let me tell you what, and everybody dumps all over Rigo for that performance. Prior to that, it was a pick'em fight. Nobody knew where they were going in that fight.
Yeah, for the longest time.
A lot of people picking Rigo.
A lot of people pick Rigo. And you know what I don't like about their fight? It was a 50-50 fight going in, but then at the end of it, Rigo was too small, and Lomachenko was labeled as the bully in that fight after he won. That was bullshit.
Well, and the way Rigo stopped the fight, you know what I mean? He stopped it with a hand injury. Turns out it was a bruise. And hey, listen, I've never thrown punches with a bruised hand, so I couldn't. I mean, like a deep bruise like that, I don't know.
So, it was very unexpected, though. We can all agree upon that. It was very unexpected that he went out like that.
But it doesn't, and it shouldn't take away from what he did prior to the fight.
I think it adds to it.
Yeah, I do too, because it never happened.
Because it never happened before. No one's ever stopped bringing down.
Absolutely. And to me, that's the thing. I mean, and everybody, like I said, dumps all over that one, and that was more impressive to me than a lot of his other fights.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Mikey Garcia Orlando Salido fight, because that's something that Mikey Garcia gets criticized for. Errol Spence brought it up. What do you think about that? I mean, we've never seen, Spence in any real danger. Kell Brook, I thought Kell Brook shook him one time and dazed him very early in the fight. But, you got to think, if a guy like Salido can do what he did, or was that just a bad night for Mikey? I don't know. What happens if Mikey gets cut?
Well, Mikey knocked Salido down a few times. He was winning that fight handily.
Yeah.
And then he got headbutt in the nose, and I was a little surprised Mikey stopped, but I mean, he was still. I think he was really out muscling Salido in that fight. He was the more physical guy in that fight. He wasn't allowing Salido to be the bully in that fight, and Salido was the bigger guy in that fight. So
yeah.
But he got headbutted and he broke his nose. So.
Yeah, and they chose to do what they did, but he gets a lot of flack for that.
It's a lot of stick for that, yeah.
So that's a tough one too. We've seen Errol Spence tested. We have seen that. But as far as Garcia, have we really seen him tested? We saw him tested, in a sense, in the Salido fight.
Fought Salido. Who else did he beat? Rocky Martinez. Beat Robert Easter is a good fight.
Robert Easter is a very good fight.
It was a good win. Most of his big wins were at the lighter weight classes, though, like featherweight and 126, 130. 135 was okay.
Yeah.
Outside of the Robert Easter fight. So he's got 39 wins, but he had that layoff. So
but he's never been tested in there. I don't think he's ever really been truly tested.
You know,
like had somebody, you know, encountered like some big time resistance.
Oh no, he's never been really pushed. Like we have to give Errol Spence credit in that Cal Brook fight because he had to really come on in that second half to win that fight. So we can say that Cal Brook pushed Errol Spence, but he was pushed at one time.
Because we were watching that today where we saw the highlights of what is it, Easter and Garcia. We were watching the highlights of it, and my dad says, yeah, Easter was a tall guy, you know. And so you talk about the size difference between Garcia and Spence, and we've already seen that size difference, but
yeah,
it's apples and oranges. These are two very different guys, two very different fighters, two very different weights.
I mean, Garcia beat a lot of solid guys. I mean,
oh, absolutely. No, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, he definitely has.
You know,
but we've seen Spence tested, where I don't know that we've seen Garcia tested.
Yeah.
All right, area code 901, Memphis. I believe this is Memphis. You're live.
Yo, what's going on, my guys? I just want to talk boxing. I got a question for you too.
Who are we talking to?
The Deontay Wilder situation. My name is. You can call me Dog Man.
Dog Man.
Save me in as Dog Man. Lock me in. You lock me in. I just want to talk Deontay Wilder real quick. For what you guys think about it? You guys think Deontay gonna take the money from DAZN? You think it's? I mean, what you guys think?
I think he would be silly not to. And again, we don't know the specifics.
Thank you. That's a yes.
Yeah, of course.
That's a yes. It sounds like a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's a great thing. So we should all celebrate as Americans right here. Deontay Wilder finally getting what he deserves. And I want to take a shot at Steven Espinoza for lying to the people and thank DAZN, the new face of boxing. Floyd Mayweather kind of hurt boxing. I'm a Mayweather fan, but he kind of hurt boxing. Overcharging fans, taking advantage of over people. You think about it.
Are you there? I think we lost him.
Oh shit, he dropped.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
Call back in.
Yeah, Dogman, if you can hear this, call back in.
Call back in, man. We'll let you back on.
We'll put you right back on, yeah. And he brings up a fair point. I mean, it's like you said, I mean, Wilder does deserve big money. He does.
Yeah.
He promotes himself really well and everything like that. And he's done a lot of this without a promoter, per se.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone was criticizing him, saying he only makes $2.5 million a fight, whatever. Then I guess his last fight he got a guarantee of $4 million supposedly, and then he got the back end money, whatever. But look how much he's grown in what, like a year's time?
Right.
It's been about a year. Look at the offers he's getting now. You know?
Yeah. So, all right, Jason's on the line. Let's go to him. Let's see here. 706, you're live.
What's going on, guys? Do you guys remember what Freddie Roach said about Spence and Brunner? You guys remember?
No.
That Errol Spence made him cry and almost knocked him out and wobbled him in sparring. Don't you guys think we should mention that right now?
I heard. I remember that. But like, you know, I remember that. But I also remember.
Hold on.
Spence gave Floyd a black eye during training.
Spence gave Floyd a black eye in training.
That was the rumor. That was the rumor going around.
How do you give a black eye? How do you give a black eye with headgear? I don't get that. But Spence denied that actually.
Very easily because your eyes aren't covered with the headgear.
So you wouldn't know.
Well, Spence denied that just the other day. On YouTube. He said, I didn't get Floyd a black eye. So that he
also said he didn't knock out Adrian.
So let me just finish. Can I finish?
Yeah.
He
also
stop asking questions.
Hey, guys, can I finish? Dude, you guys let everybody finish but me. I just called in. Can I finish or no? Jesus Christ.
Shut up.
I mean, Spence is fighting this weekend. And you guys should be, while I'm talking, instead of interrupting me, you should Google what Rob Brandt said about Spence. You know what he said about Spence? He said,
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Yep.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, B, while I'm talking, you should Google Rob Brandt, what he said about Spence. He said, I fought Murata, but I've never been hit by a guy that hits harder than Errol Spence. He said Errol Spence is not even human. Those are the words of Rob Brandt, the 160 world champion. He said Spence is unhuman, his power. He said, I tried to block a punch from Spence, and the back of my hand got bruised. So please Google that while we were speaking. You guys interrupt me, but you guys never listen to me, you know? I'd hope you guys do that. That's not the only guy. The other day, Rock Jr., Rahman Jr., Asim Rahman's son, he said Spence is probably the hardest working guy and probably the hardest hitting guy. That's him also saying that. Guys like Winky Wright have said shit like that. I mean, this is the only guy they say that about. I don't hear them saying shit like this about Crawford or Thurman or anybody. So for anybody to even think fucking Mikey has a chance against Spence, I mean, you got to be, I don't know, lost or something, or be you being like a prisoner of the moment, let's say. You know, that's what's going on here. I mean, it's really something. Also, let me make one last point. Lipinets and Broner were 140 champs. Mikey fought then, and they're at 147 now. So they weren't really 140 pounders. They were like 147 pounders, just smaller 147 pounders. So, and like Gamboa and Rigo, who never moved up from 126 or 122, Mikey has been up to 140, and he fought some big guys. Broner was not like a 140 pounder. That guy's a fat ass. He's a 147 pounder who walks around at 180, and Mikey fucking dominated him. So, and people on ESPN made fucking Loma pound for pound after he beat a 122 pound 40-year-old Rigo. So if we're going to do that, we got to make fucking Spence pound for pound. I mean, we're not going to have these double standards from these fucking Ukrainians and Americans. If we're going to make these Ukrainians pound for pound for beating these washed-up 122 pounders, then Spence has to be pound for pound for beating a 4-time world champion 140-pound guy. Do you agree, Beeb, or no?
Spence is in the conversation for sure. I do agree. He's in the conversation if he beats Mikey.
Because Crawford can't beat because he hasn't beaten anybody. And Loma, who has he beat? Linares, who's been knocked out 4 times. He just got knocked out by Cano. I mean, are these the kind of guys that we're giving these guys pound for pound positions over? Really? I mean, you beat Linares and Gary Russell, who had never proved anything in his career, and you beat him and you're pound for pound. But Mikey and all these guys are like, no way Mikey can be pound for pound. Everybody's so like, they're so like adamant over that. No way Spence can be Mikey pound for pound. But as soon as the fucking guy's on top rank and Bob Arum was saying, oh, he's pound for pound, he was like, yeah, let's just make him pound for pound. Dan Raphael follows it. Dougie Fisher Ring follows it. They make him pound for pound, and the whole world's like, oh, so Dougie and ESPN say they're pound for pound, so that must be true. All this shit means fucking nothing. I hate all these pound for pound conversations, but since we have them, we got to have them now. Spence is going to be pound for pound after Beast, so knocks out Mikey. Because Mikey is way better fighter than Rigo, and he's in his prime. Rigo was fucking washed up, and he had never been above 122, just like Gamboa had never been above 126. And Gamboa fucking wobbled Crawford a few times in that fight. Let's not forget.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Who's not washed up? Who was not
washed up when he fought Loma? You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was. He was like fucking 40 years old. You guys bash Ortiz for being washed up. How do you bash Ortiz for being washed up and not Rigo?
I never said that Ortiz was washed up.
For PBC guys,
I never said Ortiz was washed up.
I know you didn't. I know you didn't. But the fucking whole boxing world does. The whole boxing world bashes Ortiz for being washed up, and then they say, "Oh, Ortiz is probably 40 years old," and then Rigo's also 40, right? Then since all the Cubans lie about their age, then Rigo's 42. Let's be real about it. Be real with the fucking top-ranked guys and PBC guys, not just PBC guys. Crawford gets no fucking hate for fighting Gamboa, and Loma gets no hate for fighting Rigo. People made him pound for pound over that shit. Mikey's a way better fighter than Rigo to me. Rigo never beat anybody. Who did he beat?
Let's move
Who
on,
did fucking
man.
Gamboa beat? Fucking Ponce de Leon?
Move on to another
Rigo
topic.
beat Ponce de Leon, dude. Rigo beat Ponce. Let's be real about it.
Rigo beat Nonito Donaire when Nonito Donaire was like thought of as the best fighter in the world.
Gamboa beat Ponce, right? Gamboa's best friend was Ponce. Ponce was Gamboa's best friend, right, babe?
One of them. Definitely one of them.
So would you say Mikey is more accomplished than Gamboa and Rigo? Am I correct to say that?
Sean Newton in chat just says Rigo beat Donaire, a four-weight champ.
That's what I just said. I said Rigo beat Donaire. I said Rigo beat Donaire when Donaire was on
let me ask one question. I'm out of here. Beeb, is Mikey more accomplished than Donaire and Rigo and Gamboa? Can you confirm that? Mikey's more accomplished than all of them, right?
I think Mikey's more accomplished than Rigo. Donaire's
what about Donaire?
Donaire's done a lot, man. Donaire was thought of as the best fighter in the world at one time. He was like.
But who did he beat? Who did he beat, Beeb? Who did he beat? Can you tell me the 4 champions he beat, please? I don't know it. I really don't know. I can't name one even.
Then go box wreck it. We're not your encyclopedia, son.
He beat Vic Darchinyan. He beat Vic Darchinyan twice, who was another multi.
Oh my God! Come on! Vic Darchinyan, come on! Who else?
Well,
Come on.
Okay, well, if we give you the answer, you're just going to cut him down. So what does it matter?
No, I won't. Just let me know, please. Just tell me.
No,
I mean,
go box.
No, Big Darchinyan I did, but who else? Let's go. Come on.
Go ahead. I'm not your dad, son. Go box wreck it.
No, I'm talking to Beeb. Let me talk to Beeb, dude. Come on, let's have back and forth. Why can't you? Why do you always have to butt in real quick? Come on, Beeb. Can you tell me the three other ones?
The three other champions?
Montiel?
Beat Montiel.
Montiel and who else? Yeah. Walters?
Beat Simpe.
Eric, come on, man. What the hell? You're ruining the fucking show.
No, you're ruining the show, son.
Jesus Christ.
That guy Simpe Vecheka. He beat him for a title too. He was decent.
All right, so now we listed those four. Isn't Mikey's resume better than that?
Right,
isn't Mikey more accomplished and more skilled than fucking Leonard?
Let's move on.
All right, thanks, guys.
Wilfredo Vasquez Jr.
All right, he's off.
Yeah. Navarez. I mean, I don't know.
Dude, he gets like he's like a dog with a bone. Sometimes he gets some, and his calls are just honestly they're unlistenable, and it's like he makes no point. I mean, no matter what you say, he's gotten in his head that this guy was better, such and such. It's impossible to really say.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to.
Was Rigo better than I mean, come on.
I think Mikey's a better fighter than Rigo.
I do too.
I think Mikey's a better fighter than Donaire. Is he more? So I think you can make an argument, but I don't think that we should diminish Nonito Donaire was thought of as.
That's what you're doing, though. By making the argument. You're diminishing Yoloma. You're diminishing Crawford. I mean, but again, if fair is fair, then on Sunday, after Spence wins that fight, then you should say, hey,
the thing about
the smaller fighter.
The thing about Rigondeaux though is he beat Donaire when Donaire was thought to be like one of the best fighter in the world. He was like number 1 or 2 on the he was in the top 3 on everyone's top. Everyone had him. Everyone had him at like number 1, 2, or 3 on the pound for pound list when Rigondeaux beat Donaire. So that was a career defining fight for Rigondeaux. I mean, he beat him decisively. So
there it is. All right, guys. I think we're going to call this a wrap here. So join us. Don't forget to join us on Friday. We have Jamal James coming in, and we'll be talking to him, talk boxing and all that other good stuff. And we'll also hopefully we'll have some news from Wilder or whatever about the DAZN deal or more news coming in. Now, B, one of the weigh-ins on Friday, do you know what time they are?
I don't, but I'm guessing maybe 3.
That's what I would think too. Yeah, hopefully 3 or so. And I think we got Jamal coming in at 6, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check it. Hold on. Let me just double check it. Yeah, Jamal James is 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock on Friday. So be sure to tune in for that. And then there you go. So we will talk to you then. Thanks for coming in, guys, man. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to us and all that other good stuff. So we will catch you Friday. We'll see you then.
Awesome.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.